everyone, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. This is me, your guessing concept. I want to say a big thank you for tuning in wherever you are all over the world. I say thank you. And if you are new here, you are most and highly welcome as well. But kindly do me a favor by pressing the red subscribe button down below, and don't forget to turn on your notification bell for new updates. So today, without taking much of your time, it's just a quick one. We shall be completing the previous video I uploaded a few days ago titled How to Cut and Sew V-neck layered ruffle hem dress. Okay, if you haven't watched it, the link is in the description box. Kindly click on it and I know you will like it. Okay, this is the upper part. If you are wondering how the look was, this is it. This is the upper part of the dress we want to make. So in this tutorial, we shall be making the down part and we will couple it together and give us a full look. Okay, that is it all about today's tutorial. And if you are wondering how I made this beautiful top of mine, looking gorgeous, the link also is in the description box. Okay, and I know you will like it. Thank you so much. So without further ado, let's move on to the working table. First and foremost, like I said earlier on, it is a dress and I've made the upper part in my previous video. If you haven't watched it, kindly go and watch so that you have a clear understanding of what we're about to do here. And in this tutorial is an opportunity for you that has been finding it difficult to cut a basic skirt, okay? Because it's more or less like a skirt, right? So the whole total length of this dress is 47 inches. 47, and the half length, I mean the upper part, was 17 inches. So the upper part minus the whole length of dress now left with 30 inches. So the skirt length we shall be making today will be 30 inches. Okay, now from the 30 inches, there's going to be ruffle on the down part of the skirt. And the height of the ruffle is going to be 11 inches, including allowance. So 30 minus 11 inches, I'll be left with 19 inches. So 19 inches plus 1.5 inches for allowance, making 20.5. So altogether, for what I'll be cutting now will be 20.5 inches. Okay. So on this part, the ruffle will not be coming in. Like I said, the ruffle will be coming in after joining the skirt together. Right. So the basic measurements needed for this tutorial are just the waist, the round waist, which is the waist circumference. And here I have 38, just exactly what I had on the half cuts. 38 divided by 4, that will be 9.5, and I'll be adding that to it 1 inch, making a 10.5. So the hip line as well, that is the measurement from the waistline to where the hip line stops, is 8 inches. So plus half an inch to join it together on the upper part, making 8.5. And the hip circumference is 46 inches divided by 4, making 11.5. Like I said, the whole skirt length that I'll be cutting now, excluding the ruffle, will be 20.5, including the allowance. So let's move on the working table now and start placing our measurements. You can see here, I've placed all my vertical measurements. And this is the waistline, the hip line. The hip line, like I said, from the waistline is 8.5. Added half an inch for joining, making 8.5. And then to the hem of the dress, 19 inches. Then I added 1 inch to it, 20, and I have half an inch on this upper part. So all together from this upper part to the hem of the skirt is now 20.5, like I said earlier on. And as you can see, I've placed my fabric on fold, both the front piece and the back piece. So this back piece, the distance here is 1.5 inches for the zipper allowance. So I've placed it on fold now. This is the lining. After cutting it, I will use this lining to cut the main fabric. Okay, so let's proceed now and place the round measurements. I mean the measurements around the body. From the waistline, the waist circumference is 38 inches. 38 divided by 4, that will be 9.5 from the folded edge and not the edge of the zipper. Okay, so I have 9.5 here, and I'll be adding that to this skirt. That will be 1 inch. So 1 plus 9.5, that will be 10.5 altogether. I'll place the hip line here. I will place the hip circumference. The hip circumference is 46 inches divided by 4, that will be 11 and a half. I will place it here. You might be wondering, why am I not adding the dart allowance? No, because the dart will not be extending to the hip line. So I'll place 11 and a half on this hip line. So on the hem of the skirt, which is the length of the skirt, as you already know, our skirts, some they like it regular. What I mean by regular, without having a shape. Okay, while some they like it curvy. So for this tutorial, from what I have here, okay, just to give you that a little bit of shape. So from the 1/4 of the hip circumference I have, which is 11.5, I will take away 1 inch from it. If your client is the curvy type, you can go ahead and take away 1.5 inches or 2 inches. But for this tutorial, I will just take away 1 inch from the 1/4 of the hip circumference I have here. Then I'll be left with 10.5 inches. So on this down part, I'll place 10.5. So this is it. I'll go ahead now and connect the markings together. This is our skirt now. This skirt will be having that. So to place the dart for the skirt now, what I'll be doing, this is the upper part of the dress. We take the measurement of the dart I have here. So after taking it, I will add the allowance I'll be using to join the dart together. Okay, by doing this, I'll be able to have a accurate dart on the upper part and the down part of the dress. What I mean is that with this, after joining it, the dart on the skirt and the dart of the top will align together. That's what I mean. Okay, so I'll go ahead and take the measurement here. I have a 6 inches here. So 6 inches, because my skirt is of fold, 6 inches divided by 2, that will be 3 inches. Remember, we'll be holding the dart together, so I will add half an inch to it. That will be 3.5. Let's set it aside. So on this waistline, from the folded edge, I will go in by 3.5. Okay, the distance of the dart is 6 inches divided by 2, because my skirt is on fold, that will be divided by 2. So I will have 3 inches plus half an inch to join it, making 3.5. I'll place it here. Okay, so on the hip line, because this is the front piece of the skirt, the dart will not be extending to the hip line. So what I will do here is I will go up by 2 inches. That is the standard. Okay, so I will measure here my 3.5. So after that, I will connect it together to the upper parts. So on this upper part here, I will take half an inch on both sides. Half inch. I will connect it to the down part of the skirt where the dart stops. This is it now. Okay, so I will notch it. When I notch it, it will reflect on the back piece. Okay, so that is all about our skirt now. I'll go ahead and add my allowance. So for the allowance, for the upper part, the allowance was 1.5. This is it, 1.5. Don't know if you can see me very well. 1.5. So same thing I will be placing on the skirts. Like I said, I want everything to rhyme together. For the front piece of the skirt, the band is not always straight for the front piece. So what I will do here is on the upper part here, I will go up by half an inch. Then I will curve it to this half inch like this. So that is it. By the time I cut it, it will give it that curvy shape. Right, before I cut it out, for the back piece, for the darts, remember on the front piece, I went up by 2 inches, which is the standard. So for the back piece now, I'll go up by 1 inch. But before that, I'll go in by 3.5, the same way we did on the front piece. Then on the hip line, I'll go up by 1 inch, like I said. So this for the back piece. The back piece, you go up from the hip line 1 inch, while for the front piece, you go up by 2 inches. So same way we did on the front piece. So on both sides of the dart, I will take half an inch. Then I'll connect it to this point. So I'll go ahead now and cut it out. Like I said, if you haven't watched the upper part, kindly go and watch it, okay? So that you understand better what we are doing here right now. I'll remove the back piece now and cover out the front piece. I'll cover out these parts. So I'll go ahead now, place it on the fabric, cut it out. This is how it's going to look after cutting it. This is our skirt. So on this very part, you can decide to add your interfacing, that is to give the fabric a little bit of weight. But if you don't want, it's optional, okay? This is the back piece. So for the back piece, I have 2 panels for the zipper allowance. This is it. Also the lining. Same thing, I will add interfacing on the main fabric. So after adding the interfacing on the main fabric, I will place the lining on it and run stitch round the edges. After that, I will take my darts, both for the front piece and the back piece. Okay, so I'll go and do that right away. So I've placed the lining on the main fabric and I've also placed my darts. This is the back piece. I've joined both panels of the back piece together. This is it, and this is the right side. This is the front piece, and these are the darts. I'll go ahead now and place the front piece on the back piece, right side facing each other, like this. This is the front piece, and this is the back piece, right side facing each other. And place it center to center. On the down part as well, center to center. So I'll go ahead now and place the body measurements. The waist circumference is 38 divided by 4, that will be 9.5. I will take it from the center here. As you can see, this is the back piece. From the zipper line here, I will place it 9.5. The hip line is 8.5. So on the hip line, I will place the 1/4 of the hip circumference. The hip circumference is 46 divided by 4. That will be 11.5. So from the zipper line, from the center of the zipper line, I'll place 11 and a half. And remember on the down part that whatever we place here, we are going to take away 1 inch. Like I said, it depends on your preference. Yours could be 1.5 or 2 inches. So 1 inch minus 11 and a half, that will be 10 and a half. Then I will connect it together. I'll go and stitch it. This is the look of our skirt after joining the front piece and the back piece together. This is it. It's coming out. So the next thing now, I will take the circumference of these down parts, because we are going to add the ruffles to it. Like I said, 3 layered ruffles. I will do is I will take the whole circumference. Altogether here I have a 44 and a half. Then I'll be multiplying it by 2. You can multiply yours by 3, but for this tutorial I will multiply this 44 and a half inches I have here. I'll multiply it by 2. That will be 89 inches. Right, so this is the pieces for the ruffles. So on each piece now, say the height of the ruffle is going to be 11 inches including allowance. So this is the height here. I have 11 inches here. So by width I have 89 inches. Okay, this is the down parts, 11 inches including allowance. Half an inch to join it on the upper part, then I will hem it on the down parts. So this will be for the middle. The distance between the middle one is 4 inches fabric. So the middle one here is 7 inches, or 11 minus 7, that will be 4 inches. Okay, so the upper part here, this is the upper part. So the upper part here I have a 5 inches. So when I hem it on the down part, join it on the upper part, I'll be left with 4 inches. So the distance between these 3 is just 4 inches. Okay, so this is the down parts, the middle parts, and the upper parts. Okay, so by the time we gather it's going to bring us that beautiful. If you are using your longest stitch, fine, you gather it to the size of the circumference of the skirt. And if you are using your hand, using the longest stitch on your machine to gather it, you gather it. First you gather the down parts, you gather the middle one, you gather the third one, you now place it on each other. You place it the way I did it a while ago. You place it like this. After gathering it, you place it and you stitch it together, okay, before placing it to the skirt. So when you are done stitching it together, you place it on the skirt like this, right side facing each other. You place it, then you run your stitch round about it. That's if you are using the longest. So for people like me that uses ends, so what I will do is I will take the longest ruffle, I will take it wrong side facing each other like this. Then I'll gather it round. I will take the middle one as well, same thing, wrong side facing each other. I will gather it round. So when I get to the upper part, which is the last one, I will now turn it the other way around. Right side, I'll place it on the skirt like this. Okay, right side facing the right side of skirt, I will now gather it round. Then when I'm done, I will flip it while the seam will be underneath. Okay, while the inside perfectly neat. Okay, I don't know if you get me. If you don't get it, watch the video again. Okay, right, so I'll go ahead and do that right away. After that, then we join the skirt to the upper parts. Then we are done. This is the look of the skirts. That's the down parts. So I I'll go ahead now, turn it inside out like this. Then I'll place the upper part inside like this. The shoulder inside. Then place it zipper to zipper, dart to dart. You see what I mean? This is the dart for the upper part, and this is the dart for the skirt. Together like this. This another one. After placing it inside, I will align all the parts together, center to center. Dart to dart. Seam to seam. Placing it, I'll go ahead and stitch it 1/2 inch round. Then after that, I will attach the zipper. This brings us to the end of this wonderful tutorial, and I want to say thank you so much for staying tuned. Thank you for watching to the end. I hope the video has been helpful so far. Thank you. Don't forget to share it. Don't forget to give me thumbs up. Don't forget to give me thumbs up, okay, to encourage me. When you give me thumbs up, you encourage me. I'll be happy to do more, okay? No one is perfect, like I always say, except our God. But the little God has given unto us, let's share it with our fellow men, okay? So encourage me to do more. Encourage me to do more. Like this video, share it with your friends, okay? Tell them about CE concept. And if you have any question, do let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to chat me up, my Instagram handle is CE_concept, okay? And if you are yet to subscribe to this wonderful YouTube channel, kindly do so by pressing the red subscribe button down below, okay? And don't forget to turn on your notification bell for new updates. Guys, I will see you in my next video. Stay blessed. I love you all.